Hello students, good morning. Welcome to online class Standard 9 Subject Science. Dear students, in the 9th Standard Science, the unit which we are discussing is unit number 11 Atomic Structure. Okay, and in this unit, in the previous class we have completed about Rutherford's atomic model, and today using this video we are going to learn about the next atomic model which is proposed by another scientist who is known as Niels Bohr, and so this model is called as Bohr model of an atom. So what is the concept of today's video class? We are going to learn about Niels Bohr atomic model. Okay, it's very simplest one, and it arises to overcome the difficulties proposed by the previous atomic model, which is Rutherford's atomic model. Okay, let us see Niels Bohr atomic model. There are a few postulates given. Let us see those postulates one by one. Okay, this is the first postulate given by Niels Bohr. In order to explain the structure of an atom, let me read and explain what is given in an atom: the electrons. Okay, dear students, from the Rutherford's concept, we are familiar that every atom contains two different parts. One is positively charged nucleus and the one more is negatively charged electrons. That was the conclusion given by Rutherford. This scientist, Niels Bohr, has just modified Rutherford's concept and he is proposing his atomic model, and he is telling that in an atom, if you take an atom, nucleus is present at the center of the atom, and electrons. What is the charge of electron? The electrons are negatively charged in nature. So it's given that the negatively charged electrons revolve around the positively charged nucleus. Okay, what he is telling? The negatively charged electrons of an atom revolve around the positively charged nucleus, which is located at the center. Now, here a special case is given. The electrons revolve only in a certain circular path. They are not simply revolving. They have a particular definite path, and that particular path is called as orbit, or we can call it as shell. Okay, so this is the postulate number 1, which was proposed by Niels Bohr. What he is telling: in an atom, the negatively charged electrons are revolving around the positively charged nucleus in a definite path, and that path is called as either orbit or shell. Okay, let me draw the simplest diagram of this representation. Just imagine, students, if this is the nucleus which is located at the center of an atom, and this is the orbit. This is the circular path in which the electron is present, and in this path this electron will be keep circulating this positively charged nucleus. Okay, Mama. Okay, so this is postulate number 1. Okay, then let us see the postulate number 2, and this is the diagram which shows the Niels Bohr atomic model. Look here, at the center this plus symbol is given to illustrate that the nucleus is a positively charged one, and these are the circular paths in which the electrons will be keep revolving around the nucleus. Okay, then let us move on to the postulate number 2. It says that each orbit or a shell has a fixed energy. For every shell or for every orbit, there corresponds to a particular energy, and so these orbits or shells can also be called as energy levels. So energy levels are the another name given to orbits. Okay, we can look here, this is the nucleus, and this can be called as first energy level, this can be called as second energy level, and this can be called as third energy level, and the energy will be keep increasing. The first energy level will have low energy, then the second will have higher energy, and the third will have highest energy. So when the n value increases, automatically the energy also will increase. Okay, then come to postulate number 3. In the postulate number 3, we will learn about how to represent these energy levels. Look here, it is given that the energy levels are the orbits can be represented by the symbols like K, L, M, N, or it can also be represented as 1, 2, 3, 4, etc., which means first energy level, second energy level, third energy level, and so on. Okay, so the orbits can be represented by using the symbols K, L, M, N, or by using the integers 1, 2, 3, 4, etc. Okay, ma'am. Look here, the same picture I have taken again to illustrate the representation. Look here, the first shell, this is the first shell, and here the symbol K is written 1. So first shell can be called either as K shell or first energy level. Second shell can either be called as L shell or second energy level. Likewise, the successive shells can be represented as M, N, or 3, 4. Okay, va? Okay, ma'am. Then next postulate. It's very important one. Students, this is the explanation for the limitation of Rutherford's atomic model. We have seen that in the case of Rutherford's atomic model, since the electrons keep revolving around the nucleus, it is continuously losing its energy, and finally the electron can fall into the nucleus, and that will lead to the instability of an atom. But atoms are generally stable, and so that was the limitation of Rutherford's atomic model. So now this Niels Bohr is telling very clearly about this energy loss. So this point is very important. We have to pay attention and listen. Look here, as long as the electron remain in the same shell. Look here, ma. I have drawn the simplest structure of Niels Bohr atomic model. Here nucleus is present at the center, and here this is the energy level or orbit. The electron, imagine this is the electron, and this electron is keep revolving only in the same path. There is no change in the path. So because of the motion of the electron in the same path, there is no change in energy is observed, or we can say no energy is lost during this revolving process. Okay, is it clear, students? As long as the electron remain in the same shell, no energy loss is observed. The electron never lost its energy while revolving. Okay, okay. Then come to next postulate. It is also very important one. It is telling about the motion or the jump of an electron from one energy level to another energy level. How they can jump from first shell to second shell, or from second shell to first shell. Look here, the electrons in an atom move from a lower level to a higher level by gaining the particular amount of energy. Look here, ma. Here the picture is very nicely given. This is the first energy level, and this is the second energy level. Okay, now if an electron want to jump from this first energy level to this second energy level, means it needs excess energy. So when that excess energy is supplied for the electron, it can jump from the lowest state to higher state. That is given here. The electrons in an atom move from a lower energy level to a higher energy level by gaining the required energy. So when an electron gains the required energy, it can jump from the lower state to the higher state. Oppositely, if an electron returns from the higher state to lower state, see, this is the higher state and this is the lower state. If it is returning from the higher state to lower state, it is emitting the excess energy. It is losing the excess energy. So there are two processes we have seen. When the electron is jumping from a lower level to higher level, energy is observed. In the same way, if an electron is jumping from higher level to lower level, the excess energy is released. Okay, mama. Okay, so with this, the postulates of Niels Bohr's atomic model over. The same concept you will study in a detailed way when you come to 11th standard. For 9th standard, this much is enough. Okay, okay. Now let us see the limitations of Niels Bohr atomic model. Let us see that limitations. There are two limitations given. Limitation number 1 is this concept is applicable for only one electron systems like helium plus, lithium 2 plus, beryllium 3 plus, and it is not applicable for multi-electron systems. Okay, Mama. So only there are two limitations given. Very simply we can remember this model is applicable only for one electron systems, and it is not applicable for multi-electron systems. Okay, Mama. Okay, so with this video ends. Let me tell you one more time what are the things we have seen so far. What was the first postulate we have seen? The postulate number 1 is, in an atom, the negatively charged electrons are revolving around the positively charged nucleus, okay, in a certain path, and those paths are called as orbits or shells. Then second postulate is, each orbit can also be called as energy levels because of possessing a particular energy. Then thirdly, the representation we have seen. The energy levels can be represented either by K, L, M, N or 1, 2, 3, 4. Then next we have seen that as long as the electron remain in the same shell, there is no energy losses observed. Then nextly we have seen that the electron can jump from lower state to higher state by absorbing energy, and it can jump from the higher state to lower state by releasing energy. And the limitations of this model we have seen, it is applicable only for one electron system, and it is not applicable for multi-electron system. Okay, students, this is very important concept, so please pay attention and have a clear understanding. Thank you.